Philly shot, Omnians.
Omniites.
Omnisians.
Omelets.
Oh, Philly shot, hello. Welcome to our next installment of Peyton Drake's Omni Tale, Masked by Lies.
Coming to you now with my brand new Squalix attire. Yay!
Ooh, isn't that
wonderful
beautiful?
Things. And you can get your own Squalix merchandise from our website and our shop there. The description is down below.
Oh.
And now,
I love it. I got it for his birthday.
On we go. Now, we left Pete almost ready for bed when a strange voice in his head said, "It's time. You're needed."
I wonder where this voice is coming from.
I'm not sure.
We have to find out.
That's right.
This was very unnerving for Pete, and he had a hard time sleeping. But what better way to wake up than make your own waffle bar?
That's right. I'll do it myself all day long. Now, Pete now decides he's going to try to ask Kieran for some help in how to ask Edney to the ball, but Kieran is not really interested in giving him any information. He doesn't want to talk about this subject. Maybe he doesn't want to give dating advice.
Maybe. Well, Pete decides it's time to get to the bottom of what happened with his mom and Preceptor Corden. You know, she's the beautiful music teacher.
Right. So Pete now goes to the library and finds only one book about his mom, Cassiopeia, but it's been destroyed.
What?
But in those archives, he finds an old article about an event called the Point of No Return.
It seems Cassie and 4 other warriors fought off a cyclopean horde, Cyclops, to give the villagers in Nasirium the time to evacuate. Imagine your sweet, docile, breakfast-making mom who was a sword-wielding knight.
You know what? I wouldn't put past my mom. She surprised me all the
I think
time.
all moms don't
They
punch
pretty much
them
are
on.
anyway. But now he's got so much on his mind about his mom, and Pete decides it's now time to find out exactly what has happened between his mom and Preceptor Corden. Pete finds Lyra Corden in her office, and he learns about Lyra's secret marriage and the events that led up to the rift between her and Cassie. And I do want to stop here because you can read books and you can get descriptions of, you know, the ocean and the clouds and the weather and all that. And as, you know, we've seen that. So we have a pretty good idea of, you know, in our mind when they say that, what it might look like. This is a totally different thing when the author describes the Ocademy, describes the office building with so much detail and
each
so
classroom.
much, all the classrooms. And it's just, you can actually picture it. It's so descriptive and so imaginative. So
I appreciate her creativity because it just carries me off into a totally different universe. Omniverse.
Omniverse, that's right. So now Pete has a better picture of the circumstances, and he and Preceptor Corden come to kind of an understanding between the two of them. It's really good.
Corden gives him a song catcher as a gift. I guess it's kind of like a dream catcher, but plays music from her siren band when the outer ring is stroked. Sort of an Omni iPad.
I like that. Now, with his spirits lifted, Pete is now ready to ask Edney to the masked ball.
Have you ever been in that situation where you're going to ask somebody on a date or to a dance? You know, the trepidation and the excitement.
But now he's excited with his plans, and he heads back to his room to share his joy with Kieran. But he seems a little less happy for Pete and warns him that he shouldn't get his hopes up. There may be some things about Edney that Pete does not know.
I wonder if Kieran, what has
does he
against
know?
Edney.
I'm not sure.
When, as it happens when you're young and in love, Pete refuses to listen.
Right.
And gets into an actual physical confrontation with Kieran. I mean, emotions were probably running really high because Pete is not that kind of guy to react so emotionally. But Kieran storms off and leaves Pete in a cyclone of emotions from rage to despair to guilt with having a confrontation with his dear friend.
Right, and if you ever remember being 14, it's just a constant surge of emotions. Everything is, there's no middle ground. It
can be that way when you're in your 30s too, and you're in love with somebody and you don't know what's going to happen. But deciding he needs to be alone, Pete heads down to General Albert's class to clean the spazzle skiff while the general is away.
Right.
A spazzle skiff is a time
It's the
machine.
time machine, if it works.
Now, alone in the Nexus, he finds his thoughts and emotions are overwhelming him. But using his skill as an inventor, Pete rigs up a way to keep the song catcher playing on its own while he works, which gives him a sense of calm.
It does. Music always calms you down, and it's a wonder why he hasn't been put into platinum.
I know,
everything for him is just, there it is. But after thorough cleaning, Pete finally steps outside into the Nexus, and the world is turned upside down. The PA system is blaring a message from XQ. They have taken over the Academy and taken the preceptors and the students captive, and they're holding them in the nook, the dining hall.
The big dining hall,
Yes.
My gosh. The entire Academy is deserted. But because Pete was in the Nexus, they were not able to find him.
Nope.
The Nexus is a place where all communication and sound is blocked out.
Yes.
Esby is able to reach out to Pete. She has to catch him up every 5 seconds in order to stay hidden from the XQ. But since Esby cannot reach him in the Nexus, he needs to continue to come out, hear what she has to say, go back in, and he also realizes that the salvation of the Academy rests on his shoulders. I mean, can you imagine if you've ever been in that situation where someone's bearing down on you and you've got, all this tension to complete a task in what seems like an inhuman amount of time? I mean, if you can relate to that, you can imagine partly what Pete feels like when, he comes in and he comes out and, he's got to solve the problem in all those seconds.
It's a very effective tool. You've got to go outside. You have 5 seconds to get new information. Go inside. Have another 5 seconds to take that information and formulate it into some type of a plan
Right.
before you can go back out and get another 5 seconds and try to add that all up. It's a very effective ploy on the part of the author.
He has no time to
put
be
that
worried
together.
or scared.
Right.
So with the plan in place, Pete is ready for SB to take him into action. What is Pete's master's plan?
How is a 14-year-old going to save the entire Academy?
I don't know. Let's hope Pete is ready for this one. And we will see you on the next installment. Charisse Disson.
Alors, Charisse, stay place.